Hello, welcome to this virtual presentation on open innovation in government services, an empirical view of citizens' participation. This study was done by a collaborative research carried out by Eneth, University of Namibia, Gloria Iyawa from the University of Namibia, Martin from the International University of Namibia, Jude from the University of Namibia, and Nalima from the University of Namibia. I'm going to present on their behalf, and since this was a collaborative research, we did together as a team. On the international background, the concept of open government assures us of a broader concept beyond e-government. Open government is linked to the essential service transformation of governments to become more available to the public domain. As you all know, government normally is the sole provider of most services in the country. And most citizens always trust the government since they pay taxes so that the government can give them the services they need. Be it on health, be it in education, the government services will always be appreciated. To realize the open and participatory and collaborative governance, many governments also need to change on how they are going to scale up their services to the citizen by engaging in various innovative open government initiatives. And this will help them change their administrative, political establishment, and processes. As you are going to see, the researchers reviewed various studies on open innovation. And this study particularly was carried out in Namibia context. Other countries, but we hope the Namibia context can be replicated or can be borrowed out with this kind of research. The methodology adopted in this study is qualitative method. Descriptive statistics was used to analyze the findings of the study. The sample group for this study comprised of 40 participants from selected government offices, ministries and agencies, which include 15 participants and 20 participants from the general public, as well as 5 focus group members who worked on various government projects from the selected ministries. So the questionnaires were distributed and sent to the participants after they had agreed to take part or when they have given us their consent. But actually, before that, we had to do a pilot study to ascertain the validity of the questionnaire or the instruments, the questions, and even validity of the research in question. The questionnaires were structured based on 3 principles of open governance innovation, as suggested by these 2 authors. Hence, we categorize the areas as 4. Number 1, open government. Number 2, citizen ideas and innovation. Number 3, collaborative administration. And number 4, collaborative democracy. The questionnaires were presented in 5-letter scale approach from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And the findings of the study were analyzed and presented in form of graphs as follows. So there were 8 results presented. The 8 major results presented the study, and I'll go through them one by one. The first major result of the study was tested on how open governance or government enables public sector institutions to be more effective. From the results seen, slightly above 30 of the 40 participants agreed that open governance enables public sector institutions to be more effective, because actually there's no room for people to do fishy business in their offices, because people will know what's taking place. They'll access the documents, so there'll be more output of the service delivery. The second result of the 8, open government enables simple access to government information. Here, the respondents, above 35 out of 40 respondents, strongly agreed that when we have open government, access to government information will be very easy. Citizens will be able to access information they need from whether it is the Ministry of Lands or when it is the judiciary or the Ministry of Education, they're able to get that information that they need to capture, or even school records, wherever they are. The third result, using citizens' ideas to innovate, which leads to effective open government. Here, this question was covering how citizens themselves can generate ideas or innovation ideas that can support open governance. Because all these systems, all these services are made for the citizens. They are the consumers of these results. So you can see from the results was very much skewed towards the good side, over 30 agreeing and close to 5 strongly agreeing. So disagreeing and strong disagree was very minimal here, which means when citizens are involved, we are able to get this. They're able to get the effective services from the government, and the government institutions that are supposed to be helping them on this will also benefit from this, from the in ideas, because they be consumed, and hence transformation of life. The fourth result was question tested on how using public competitions to source citizens' ideas can lead to open innovation. How do we motivate? Sometimes citizens have ideas, but how to get them on board to share their ideas sometimes can be a big challenge. So we can use public competition to source for these ideas. So we are going to look at that, how public information can be used to source for ideas. So we suggested maybe the government can involve their citizens through competition or innovation competition to bring these ideas on board. And I've seen this even here in Kenya. I know you have the ICT Authority, Kenya, and also the University of Nairobi. You have the Konza Technopolis. They're now thinking of ways they can actually come in and bring solutions through hackathons, through innovation forums, through Innovation Week, tech forums that are geared towards this. And that's why the respondents here also agreed. You can see above 30 out of the 40 respondents. Engaging citizens, the fifth result was on engaging citizens in collaborative administration, which leads to speedy, responsive public service delivery. Yeah, as I said earlier, engage the citizens. They're the end users of these systems. They are the ones who know which services they need from the government, how fast, in what quality do they need these services. So, and that's why the results here was strongly skewed towards strongly agree that citizens are feeling there should be kind of collaboration with the administration so that there's responsive and speedy public sector delivery. Next was on the results. Number 6, collaborative administrative with the citizens leads to lower cost. This was also collaboration with the citizens, with the government, and the cost of service delivery. Because you see, government is spending a lot of money to get services delivered. I know some of them has been lost because of corruption. A lot of money has been lost because of corruption. But maybe from the response we got, here the citizens who are not aware about the cost. They were 50-50, indifferent as in the center. Number 6 result was covering involving citizen in political agenda setting, executing the results in effective open governance. Elections come. Most politicians, as you know, in Africa, will always get their seats and then they disappear. They come back to the citizens when the next time they want to be elected. So citizens here felt they should be involved in even setting the political agenda, because it's the politics that drives most African agendas. It's the MPs, it's the parliament, it is the ministers who are politically appointed that drive the agenda, but without really knowing out what these citizens need. So the citizens felt and strongly agree that they need to be strongly involved. And the last part of the results was engaging citizens in governance reduces the failure of potential policy. We have had very many policies, even in parliaments. They've come out with all the documents, all the laws. But if you ask me, most governments will always find or record policy failures. They will always record policy. Talk about traffic rules, there are so many, but you still find traffic. Talk about corruption, there are so many policies that have been put in place, but there's so many failures. So citizens felt when they are engaged, we shall reduce this failure because it's a team of top people who meet and make these laws. On the discussion, the study aimed at investigating the citizen perception on their open governance in Namibia for the case of the study. And to our knowledge, this is the first study that is investigating the citizen perception in their participation in open governance in the Namibian context. This study also provides a definition of open governance in government, definition. So the finding of this study contributes to the existing literature on open innovation in government, especially in developing countries' context. So we looked at the citizen side. Normally, most studies are always concerned with the high-level policymaker side, but this study looked at the citizen side, and the results was overwhelming. They believe that when the open governments will facilitate public sector institutions to be more effective, as you can see in this last point. In line continuation of the discussion, in this line or with the previous studies, citizens strongly believe that open governance will lead them to positive outcome. There's a study that was studied done in Uganda. Participants also believe that using citizens' ideas could also lead to innovation in governments. The participants also confirmed this notion. Another study that was also done in Germany by Tepper found that citizens are willing to participate in addressing issues relevant to their knowledge. The findings suggest that participants had impression that engaging citizens in collaborative administration may lead to speedy responsiveness of the service which are being delivered. So in conclusion of my presentation, the participants looked at the competitions, the citizens' ideas, and how this could lead to innovation. Which ideas do the citizens have? As such, it is recommended that competitions can be held as regular innovation forums, hackathons, as regular as possible, where citizens can come in. We make information or services that are tailored to the citizens themselves. Participants believe that using citizens' ideas does not only lead to innovation, but can also lead to effective open government. So the study established the key findings regarding participants' perception of the citizen involvement in open government services, and the findings provided us with the preliminary evidence of various ideas that could lead to this. And these are the references that are actually used in the study. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. And if you have any questions or contributions or suggestions, please feel free to engage us more as we take this discussion forward. Thank you very much.